Welcome back to another episode of the Mission Viejo Chamber's Young Professionals Podcast. My name is Daniel Katzman, financial services professional down out of Newport Beach.
My name is Bryn Parmenter with Parmenter Insurance Agency, Property and Casualty Insurance.
And I'm Moustafa with Paradise Photography OC.
And I'm Ian White, financial advisor with Edward Jones.
Heck yeah. Upcoming events in the chamber, what's going on, Ian?
Big thing is August 9th, we've got our OC State of the County. It's a big luncheon. We've got all our elected officials there, and they're going to be discussing the past, present, and future of the county. So it should be pretty exciting. If you've heard any rumors about stores coming into town, something being remodeled in Mission Viejo. I know we're getting a big
Creek Trail.
Exactly. A huge remodel for the center of town. I'm sure all that stuff's going to be discussed there.
Yeah, it's quite a project that they're going under. Are they going to go over the beginning history of our Mission Viejo? Do you know the last bear was shot up in our hills?
Yep.
No,
I think it was on the Oso Creek Trail, right? Or that was where it was last sighted?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
And that's why we have the bears all over.
Yeah.
Cool little fun fact, local city fact.
And of course, we got every Tuesday our Daybreakers meetings, which most of us attend every week. Great place to have breakfast and meet with other local business owners, share business.
Yeah, for real. Have a coffee with the best business owners in Mission Viejo.
Was it just the coffee was? I think they got the Colombian this week. It was good.
Come get the Colombian. We got the good.
Yeah, we got the good stuff.
As far as city events coming up, we have low-cost pet vaccination clinic, August 3rd, 8:30 a.m. Symphony in the City, August 3rd, later that day. And then we have Let's Go Digital, August 4th. National Night Out will be celebrated on August 6th. Live music with Casey. You got to check out the website for that last name on August 7th. And then Virtual Brown Bag Book Club, August 9th. Lots of fun events coming up. You got to check out MV Life. They got all their events posted on there or on the city website. Let's hop right into things, guys. Rosebud, Thorn, how's the last month been? How's the last week been? How's everything going with business? You want to start off, Ian?
Sure. Rose. Well, I have been working by myself for most of the year. My branch office administrator had moved on temporarily, and that's the Rose, it was temporary. She was back in June, and we're busier than ever. So that's amazing. Bud, I was referred to a business back in December who needed a retirement plan. We talked briefly, had a few follow-up calls that were they were busy, and finally got a call back today, and it's looking like it's going to be a good fit. So looking forward to that.
Congrats.
Thorn is just too much work. I was here all day, which I know, complaining about having a real 8-hour day. Had time to go home just to work out and then come right back here. So Thorn is too much business, is getting in the way of me doing other things.
It's a good problem to have.
I need more thorns. Jeez. Moose, how's everything going with you?
Fantastic. Been a great month so far. Contracted some really cool new clients. Working on a lot of new different things, so it's exciting times. Been booking more weddings, which I'm happy about. And then doing more dog shoots, which I love the most. Just working with pets, it's exciting, fun. Bud is trying to work on inventory of gear and stuff that I'm trying to get rid of, old props. So working on the studio a lot and trying to organize and clean up and have a big junk hauling day. So
That'll feel good once it's done.
Oh yeah. And then Thorn, just with a lot of work lately, just more editing and more
Late nights.
More late nights. So sometimes I have to like wake up at 4 in the morning to make sure, get the stuff that I need to get done when it's pretty cool and not boiling.
Yeah. I hear you. How's everything going with you?
Good. Rose is not entirely work related. It's actually getting away from work. Kind of enjoyed a couple days away. Got to Las Vegas. Didn't lose too much money. Left with my dignity. So that's always good.
Good man.
The bud.
So fun. What are you going to Vegas? What are you talking about?
The bud is working with a new client, building owners, and it's really nice when someone's got an older building and actually take into understanding how you can make updates to that, and that's how you can really drive that premium lower by updating things like your electrical, your plumbing, your roofs, some of those main systems where issues happen. It's always nice when you have someone that's willing to say, hey, I'm going to invest the money for the long term and it's going to benefit me by my premium. So it's always nice working with people like that. And then Thorn is a lot of insurance right now on the personal lines and business side is going to surplus markets or like the non-admitted stuff. So that just means more paperwork for everything, longer wait times, so you're following up on stuff, and it's just more work for the same stuff. But someone's got to do it, so it's good. It's being a good problem to have, being busy with work. So yeah, that's the Thorn.
Seen a trend here.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can try to break that trend. Rose, things are going well. Last week was a phenomenal week as far as business goes. Booked 40 appointments before Wednesday.
Whoa.
And that's cold calling. So it's like, I lost part of my soul, but it's
Getting those dials up.
oh my goodness.
That's temporary.
Yeah, my
You're good.
my phone care provider's not too happy with me, but we're we did great, and then we also closed quite a few different cases. The most cases we've closed in a week ever, and then it's that wasn't for the most amount of commission or most amount of money in my pocket necessarily, but we helped a lot of individuals, and it was phenomenal, and to be able to do that, it was great, but it just keep going, right? It's like, it's just starting to really turn into something, and it just takes that daily effort of, losing your soul into the phone, picking up that 1,000-pound phone, and just dialing, you know what I mean? And we had one individual who answered the phone and gave him the script and said, or didn't even get to the script. We said, like, how are you? And he's like, I'm doing well. Last night I how old are you and how much money do you have? And I was like, well, I'm 24 and I have about $1 million under assets under management. And I was like, and he's just like, boom, and I've gotten to the point where I call back. You know what I mean? I don't know if we got disconnected there or what, but, and we didn't get disconnected. Let's just say that. He was not too pleased, but you got to check to see if we got disconnected. Might have been bad connection. But you just keep going after it. You have fun, and it is what it is. Yeah, you got to have fun with it. A thorn is, I guess a bud is things are going well. You know what I mean? This cold calling is starting to turn into something. We just had, a client come into the office from a cold call from one of the first times that's happened, right? It's either, referrals, people come into the office, but to get that, less of a transactional sale out of a cold call is something that we're striving for, right? We want to form that relationship. So it's great, it's growing, it's just gonna take a lot more work. The thorn, though, is I need people to do the freaking job. Like, my back off, not just my back office team, but I've been struggling with back office teams all across the country from different companies since February for one simple thing. And we're talking about, less than, $20,000 of, it's nothing, right, in the grand scheme of things. And these the check was cut from a company, sent to my company. Then it said, I was told name doesn't match up. Okay, fixed the name, got the name matched up, said, nope, there's still a middle initial, not quite matched up enough. So had to go ahead and check that, fix that, got that fixed. And then for them to now be, I was in Glendale today in person, and I just went to check on the case because I sent an email saying, hey, any update? And now there's a new issue. And it's like, why wouldn't you tell me this? Why didn't you communicate this? Why wasn't this, and I'm 24. These are 30-plus-year-old individuals. These are adults.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm an adult too, right? But my business partner was standing right next to me when I was talking to these guys. Was like, damn, you're a little mean. I was like, I wasn't being mean. I was just like, can you please communicate with me a little better so that I can do my job, right? I'll do. It was done within hours. The paperwork they had me, now I needed to do. But it's like, why wouldn't you just let me know, right? Like, why wasn't this communicated to me? So that's a big thorn that I'm having, like a lack of communication from, just people working from home that were undertrained, ultimately.
Well, I wouldn't make assumptions.
Maybe too much
not everyone's
detail.
an adult. Just grown children.
Yeah, running around with too much control.
It's good to keep your inner child alive, but some of these people
Do your
are a little
job.
crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we kind of have a term for that in our office. Someone's being hunt and peck, where you're like, you submit something, they're like, that's wrong. You sort of back, don't like that. It's like, can we just do it in one, not
Yeah.
one at a time? Being like,
I'm getting hunt and pecked to death.
yeah.
It's brutal, but it's a learning experience too. So I'm taking it in stride and but since February, you know what I mean? And it was on our end. I fought a different company. I had to have my client on the phone. We had to battle, and finally got it. Now it's like my company, my team. The guys on my team are messing with me now. It's like, is this on purpose? Like, the email I got back from one person was like, other person, please update Daniel. And then the email I got back from that person was, on it, will do. 3 hours later, I would have to go in person to be like, what the heck's going on? And it's like, I said, I need to meet with her name. And her name was who I was talking to. And I was like, perfect.
Here we go.
And just maybe I was a little mean, but it was, it's just, dude, just trying to communicate,
Yeah, I found, especially early in my career, when I'd reach out to someone to have something done, and they'd be like, I'm on it. I'd be like, cool, they're on it. And I'd be, all right, they're working on it. I'll give them some time.
Yeah,
and then it's been a couple days. Now someone's on it. The next day, how's it going? Where are we at? Especially if it's something we've been waiting on a while. It's like, too many times, I'd rather be a bit pig-headed and be like, hey, where's this at? Rather than, it's been a week, where's that? Ah, shoot, it slipped through the cracks.
I'm the squeakiest wheel alive.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, and it's like,
You got to sometimes.
if you can hear it in the podcast, this is what's going on, it's me. I'm in the background. I just
Because
can't help it.
you're working for your clients too. At some point, you have to be
Real.
advocating for them, saying like, "Hey, they're in a situation that's unpleasant. So if I'm coming across unpleasant, it's to get something done."
Yeah, how do you not understand? It's like, I'm not, it's not for me. I'm not benefiting really. This is, I'm gonna make maybe $15 off of this. What are we talking about right now? It's, just do this for this nice individual, and it's frustrating as all heck. And if you're listening and you know who you are, we're good. But, we're fighting for you. We're gonna get it done. It's so frustrating, how in the world are we, I don't know. I'm gonna be greasy and squeaky and just annoying, I guess, and, you gotta stay on top of people, but.
Yeah.
Okay, articles. We were instructed by our good producer, Nick Quinlan, to bring articles to this podcast.
The company name it dropped too, not just.
Oh, Quick Media, the
There you
best,
go.
just right tied with Paradise Photography, OC.
We always work together.
Honestly, they're both, competing for number one in OC, for sure. Gotta have that one.
Yeah. No names were dropped, no company names.
Yeah.
We got out of it.
That was so bad.
Without censoring.
That might have to beefed out a little bit, but yeah, we oopsies. Articles. Did everyone do their homework?
Yep.
Okay. What did you bring? More?
Alrighty, brought it from the Insurance Journal. So it's kind of where I was talking about, where I mostly work on the commercial side of insurance, where it is more common for the non-admitted markets or surplus markets to be going into, because that's where higher risk goes into. When the admitted markets are companies with reinsurance, they don't want to play in that game. But unfortunately, more and more in California, as many people probably know, the homeowners insurance market is tough. A lot of the carriers are playing fires and things like that. And we're actually at the point where about halfway through the year, homeowner insurance transaction in California's surplus line market are up 70% in 2024 since 2023. And that's only for halfway through the year. So that's doubling the total of through 10 years. And with surplus lines, you're seeing increases. And it's just tough out there for people, man. It's partly fires and things like that, but also there's other things that are going into it. Homeowners and home prices are through the roof still. I mean, you look around in Mission Viejo, homes are over $1 million. You look at them 25 years ago, they're $200,000-$300,000.
And then 15 years before that, there were 60.
Yeah, and so it's tough. Claims are expensive. I think some of your average water claims are getting up to over $100,000. So you feel for someone. Someone's like, I've been paying. So let's say they're paying $2,000 now, and been paying that for 30 years. They're like, I've been paying all this money for this year. Well, look at it. You paid $60,000, but the cost of everything is so much. You've been paid out $100,000, and so but all they see is rates increase or getting a drop. So it's in a tough spot right now. That's for sure. The California Fair Plan, which is kind of the last resort for homeowners insurance, is just flooded. It is just. Yeah, it's a tough.
No pun intended.
yeah. It's kind of crazy insurance world out there. And it's back on, like as I was saying, for the surplus lines. It's just more paperwork. You start filling things out by hand. Things take longer. So people that were coming up on renewal, hey, I did my renewals and reached out a month ahead of time last time. Now you're worrying about people that are having lapses in insurance just because the underwriting and everything's taking so much longer. So it's an interesting world of insurance.
It's horrible. Do you think this is like, we were seeing this in 08, 09, like right before?
A lot of this is the premiums. There's the fear of wildfires and decimating large portions where one insurance carrier has a dense hold in that area. You have a place like Paradise Valley, where carriers had large portions of that area and they're paying out the entire thing. So insurance carriers have people that are insuring them, because these are for-profit businesses. They need to be making money, but also be liquid enough to pay out when they really need to on some of these massive claims. So it's that fear of being liquid and paying out, which is keeping these admitted carriers out of California. So we're seeing rate increases from the Department of Insurance. So hopefully with some rate increases, which people don't want to see, we'll see some people coming back. I mean, you definitely see homeowners insurance going down if we had a little bit better home prices.
Yeah.
That is a large part of the risk. Overinflated home values that cost way too much to be building back up and stuff too. So you have to pay what you get for. So that's not how that goes, but you get what I mean.
It's kind of interesting that this is even a problem. You made me think. One carrier has a bunch of homes in one area, like not even a zip code, one neighborhood. When the whole point is to spread out your risk. So you'd think they'd have some sort of system, like Google Maps, to be like, hey, when we start to get too many in one neighborhood, stop approving people in that area.
They do.
And then they'll go to another insurance company.
But with people pulling out to the place we've gotten, the lack of competition is making it so more and more often they're like, whoa, we are way too dense in this area.
Yeah.
We're writing everyone. And then they panic and fully pull out. So it's kind of just that snowball rolling down the field. One person pulls out, then the next person pulls out because they don't like how they were. And we're seeing that on the commercial side of insurance too. There's an example of a specific business that franchises that drive around and sell tools. A lot of carriers are pulling out from there because they don't like the risk. And you see one pull out, you see more and more of them, and all of a sudden there's this thing
what
that
do they know that I don't?
Yeah, and you're seeing that a risk that wasn't that hard to place overnight because a couple carriers pull out is now getting harder and harder to place and more expensive, which comes back on the business owners, which is tough. So it's just, we live in an expensive world where inflation is going crazy and doesn't seem like we really know what to do about it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
We don't seem to know what we're doing.
Yep, yeah, there's a lot.
I think the answer is to print more money and to just keep spending it on useless stuff.
Yeah, gotta make sure the corporations
You
are
hear
making
that,
more
Biden?
money than
Vote
ever.
for me. We'll start that later.
But yeah, that's kind of the world of insurance right now. There's good things and bad things, but a lot of things it's kind of the focus. And it's not just California. It's pretty much across the country you're seeing things because a large part is things cost so much these days.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's almost worse than Florida.
Well,
right
the
now.
storms are starting to get worse, the heat waves are getting worse, the chills are getting worse, so people are dying.
Well, it's like, I I mean, in California, we're getting more rain. I mean, the past couple years, it's been great.
We had a hurricane.
Yeah, but people aren't used to all of a sudden you're like, wait, we're getting rain, now there's water damage and stuff after going through
Floods, yeah.
droughts and
They
places
never
that are
fix
not
their
used to floods.
roof. They-
Right,
Yeah.
our infrastructure isn't built for flooding, and so things flood, damage
Mhm.
happens.
Pretty sure we're due for a big earthquake.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of Mayan calendar are you using for that?
Yeah. I don't even know how factual that was. There's some plate.
They've been saying that
We
for
were due
years.
since I moved
man.
here 12 years ago,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
but it's
Yeah.
like a 50-year time frame.
Yeah.
So
So
at some point, either me or my kids are gonna
going to
have
Texas.
to go buy a bunch of bottled water.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
It's actually a good tip, always keep extra packets of water
Yeah.
in your
Keep your-
garage.
Your emergency.
Yeah.
Check on your
Right,
emergency,
an emergency
stats.
battery, right? So you can actually run things that you need to run in your home.
Yeah. Shoot, I bet you can get a generator cheap on Amazon. Have that and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Why?
sell the small power packs. I actually have one for my gear that I take with me sometimes. I have a solar panel.
Oh, there you
So
go. Find your local photographer in a crisis.
Yeah, it's a little $50
we're
one
always
you
well
get.
prepared.
Yeah.
What'd you bring?
I rather the financial advisor after all this give us your articles.
Good idea.
Well, it's kind of funny. It's not as bad as yours,
Yeah.
but it's bad for some people. So real estate's a great investment in a lot of situations, and especially Airbnbs. Right, that's been a huge trend,
Mhm.
especially after COVID. There's a pent up travel want.
Mhm.
So lots of people are spending money. A lot of them have the money to spend, some don't, but they're doing it anyway. And
Yep.
what ended up happening is way too many people bought houses to turn into Airbnbs. And so you're seeing now on the website, a lot of owners are kind of getting worried. They're like, I used to have a bunch of people booking and now I have none.
Mhm.
Is Airbnb dying? What's going on? But then when you look at the numbers, more people than ever are using Airbnb. It's just there's an oversaturation of properties.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen like local governments and stuff being like, you're not allowed no short-term rentals in this area.
Yep.
I mean, insurance isn't easy on
Yeah,
them
like
either.
Tahoe was cracking down.
Newport Beach, pretty sure. It was on Balboa Island. I think they were like, these are not allowed because you have these wealthy communities where people are coming in and just partying, essentially.
Right.
Well, I think you're starting to see with Airbnb too, that a lot of people are realizing like, man, with all these fees, like, I could get a hotel room.
Right. The fees,
I don't have to clean up
yeah,
after.
the fees got so high that it wasn't worth it. I
Mhm.
loved Airbnb because I could get a kitchen,
Mhm.
like a full kitchen and a fridge and all of that stuff for way cheaper than a hotel room.
Yep.
And I didn't have people bothering me by trying to clean up after me. But now, yeah, the fees are so high, it's comparable.
And you're supposed to clean it after too.
Exactly.
Like-
you have to clean it all, and then you get charged several
The cleaning
$100
fee.
for cleaning.
Yeah,
It's
it's
getting wild.
well, it's one of those things you're seeing something that like a disruptive technology or disruptive business become what it disrupted.
Exactly.
Cable and streaming, taxis and Ubers. It's
Right.
you live long enough to become what you came
Yeah,
to
now
break.
you're getting groups of bundled services like get Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got away from.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, but with Airbnbs, it's part of why housing prices are so high.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a problem. Hopefully, we can get some of those houses back in the market. It's
What
not
type of role do you think that's playing on the overall market, though?
not as much because the biggest reason that we're seeing is a couple of very large businesses are
Thank you.
buying all the properties
Yeah.
and then jacking up the price.
White Boulder?
No.
I'm not naming names. I'm not trying to get
no.
You're gonna get shot, bro.
No,
Don't
I
say
know.
that.
But what I was trying to say is, at least with the Airbnbs, you might have made a bad investment by getting into an oversaturated market, but at least you still have a house that's worth something. You could rent it out normally, at regular rental, or sell it
Mhm.
for probably a decent profit. But try to sell it to someone who's actually going to live there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what is the balance ultimately, right? Like you saw during COVID, they put a pause on rents. So if you're gonna buy a rental property and that's your plan for retirement,
Mhm.
what happens when another COVID comes around?
Yeah,
How are you paying for that mortgage?
diversification.
Exactly.
Well, in places like California though too, you see a lot of people are like, I don't want to be owning place and having renters, because you have things like the squatters' rights and stuff, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have someone that you're like, my place is destroyed, I'm out money, and I legally can't get this person out.
I find it
It's-
very hard to recommend for anybody to buy a rental property in California.
It's
Oh, well, just purely based on ROI.
mhm.
I tell all my clients, we could do that, but let's look at other states and we'll just compare the return. Because
Mhm.
it's almost always better in other places.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
best reason to do it here is if you were gonna move there eventually and you're just
Yeah.
not ready yet.
Right, you have kids that are going out, like, by a university campus, rented out to their friends, stuff
Yeah.
like that, live there, but, yeah, we've just seen another thing, a program meant to help people is getting taken advantage of by those and ruin it for everybody.
Yep.
Yep.
Another trend.
Yeah, right?
I think that'll even out. I think ultimately with Airbnb, they needed to lower the fees.
Yeah.
They had to
Mhm.
get
And like I
a
said,
little bit
more
less.
people than ever are using it. It's just they way overshot the demand.
Yeah, so,
Just
as
do for a
things
little
go,
correction.
it'll,
Yeah.
yeah, supply and demand, it'll correct itself.
Alright, who's got some?
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about Trump getting shot, so it's not good.
I'll give you guys something from PC World, because I get that question asked a lot, like, what camera should I get? Everybody now is doing social media, doing stuff, and especially if you're doing activity stuff,
Mhm.
sailing or whatever. Right now, the GoPro Hero 10 Black is only $199 on Amazon.
That's what I use for my skiing videos and stuff. It's great. Battery life is awesome. I love that thing.
What's your YouTube?
I don't.
Plug the
channel.
I do no editing, so they're all just sitting on that thing in a ton of storage.
He's a sponsored athlete. He's just being really. He's humble.
I need to go through that. There's some cool stuff in there.
What's it
Climbing
usually
up
at?
Half Dome.
$449.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's a good deal.
For $199, you gotta
How much was it normally?
$449.
Oh wow, that yeah.
So you
Heard
get
it here
23 megapixels, 5.3K
What's the kickback you're getting
video.
on this? What the hell is going on?
No, I love GoPro. I support them. I have a couple that I use, especially like the 360 stuff for
Oh, those are
weddings.
cool.
And yeah, that's amazing.
I love the.
Car videos, weddings, stuff like that. It comes out
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
I love the dog videos where they have the 360 and they give
Oh,
it in his
yeah.
mouth so you can just see part of the face. Those are good.
Yeah, they actually for dogs they have strap for their chest, back.
Oh,
I
that's
guess so.
awesome.
You can actually like send off your dog and you see what.
A lot of dog social media influencers got to get the
Oh,
content,
yeah.
man.
My
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
are the cat ones, because those
Thank
cats
you.
are crazy.
I've seen
Yeah.
that.
They're just like parkour.
Oh
parkour.
yeah, they're chasing around the wild cats
Right,
and
Yeah.
stuff.
they're
The
like
turf
10
wars.
miles away from their house. The owner has
Oh.
no idea.
I could never have an outside cat. It would stress me out way too
Yeah.
much.
Well, it's not for here because they're gonna
Oh.
get eaten by coyotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't leave your pets outside.
Even small dogs.
How did it end on a negative note again?
Oh no, we were so close.
I was trying.
Yeah, I know that was my fault. That was all
Cat
me.
parkour.
Cat parkour. We'll leave it there.
Might be due to the fact that there was an assassination attempt on one of our ex-presidents quite recently.
I'm so shocked at
That's-
that, man.
it's-
It is.
unbelievable.
I have no words. I can't even believe that happened.
Even if you don't like the person, people after trying to say, "Oh, it's inciting violence." It's
Right.
just not. It's not what we need right now.
We do
you
not,
know?
Yeah.
we do not
It's
need
like we
this
need a
at all.
little bit more love and compassion
Yeah.
in this world. It's
It's insane. And then Biden is, dropping out, and
Yeah.
Harris being put up after. Is Harris going to stay till the?
I think so.
I mean, yeah.
What I don't understand is he never wanted to be the president because he said he was too old, and they kind of forced him into it.
Right? I
And
think
then they're all complaining that he's too old. Wouldn't you have spent the last 4 years building a plan on who to put in next? It
it's
doesn't seem like we have any really strong thinkers on either party right now.
no. It's almost like the problem is the two-party system itself.
Yes, exactly. It's more like a reality show at this point.
Oh gosh, what was I saying? It's like a lot of stuff. There's a HBO show called Veep, and it's like apparently viewership has gone up like 300% or something because there's so much stuff that's like, wait, that's actually lining up. The show's like, it's just a show, guys. But yeah, it's
It's not
interesting
good.
times.
It's weird, and it's ultimately like, it's inciting violence. There's a, lack of thinkers up at the top end of things, and I think they've all got, us on the lower end so twisted up about crap that doesn't even matter
Yeah.
on, even your day-to-day level of life, that it's like, how, you're not even able to communicate to your neighbor because he's got a Trump flag outside of his house.
Yeah.
Because somebody on the TV told you have to hate that guy because he's a racist, because he supports a racist.
Right. Yeah, we used to argue about topics.
Mhm.
Like, okay, I don't agree with you on that, but I agree with you on this. But now it's like, if we don't agree on any of the topics, or if there's any one that we don't agree on, we can't be friends. And
It's a-
also, I hate you.
It's an us versus them mentality. It's like,
Right.
well, we're over here on this side, and they're over there, and it's just like, the people at the top on both sides getting paid out by the same people that are supporting their campaigns,
Yeah.
getting filthy rich.
Yep.
And,
I was gonna say, who's benefiting from this? Couldn't possibly be our corporate overlords.
No, of course not. Not highest record profit margins and C-suites making record amounts of money, but that can't be the
Yeah.
problem, surely.
Definitely not.
They want you sitting at your dining room, well, not they, who's they, right? But it's
The lizard
seeming.
people.
It still is the Chambers podcast. Doug's coming after him for that one.
Nobody in that room knows anything about what's
Anything.
actually happening.
Exactly, so it's like, for you to even have that discussion versus like, who's the mayor? You know what I mean? That person can literally put a stop sign in and add 10 minutes to your commute every day, and that's, hours of your life.
I kind of want to be the mayor now.
I vote for
Mary and
it.
White.
But it's, like, for us to be caring about stuff like that when we're not even taking care of the basic things and we're not being able to, communicate on such a basic level, we stand almost no chance at, correcting it at the top level.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna.
That's not the goal, though.
No.
Correcting, coming together as a people. No, that's.
Yeah, how could that be the
Oh,
goal,
yeah.
right? But like
That
that
would
is
not
my,
help us at all.
Yeah.
we have to do that ultimately. That's the only way we're gonna be able to turn it around is by coming together and, ultimately working at a very basic level together and
I think
understanding
the
that.
solution is food. You can only come to this
Someone needs
awesome
dinner.
dinner that I funded if we can get along.
No fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
That's what family dinner used to be.
Yeah.
You used to be able to punch each other and scream,
Right, you'd argue a
kick,
bit, and then you'd have a drink and
take
get
it
over it.
over, and then everyone sat down at the table, you said prayer, and that was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it was what it was.
I think there's so much, the news cycle is so much, these loud headlines get you going and people are kind of just reading that and then you're kind of just having battle of the clickbait headlines between
Yeah.
people and
100%. You get spun up to go into work to yell at your coworker about some that you have no clue what the hell you're
or if
talking
it's
about.
even true. If it's like,
Yeah, you're just having fun.
That's-
You're
yeah,
just
that's not the
firing up
important
and
part.
screaming.
Yeah.
And it's nuts. It's not helping anybody, and it's, we've come to the end of our time here, guys. But we didn't really get into much of the meat and the potatoes, the topic of advertising and resilience. But we will revisit that in the next podcast, so make sure to tune in next month, and we'll get into that. And hopefully no one got shot at again. So
Yeah, amen.
amen.
see you guys next week or next month. So.